So, this is part 2 of our lesson on simplifying expressions. The last time we watched a video and took notes, we had a step missing in our steps for simplifying. And so this lesson, we are going to include that step. First, I want to remind you that when you simplify expressions, 2 things have to happen, or actually 2 things shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have any like terms when you're all finished with the process. There shouldn't be any parentheses. Make sure you have your notes page and highlighters and or colored pencils for this. Let's start with the steps. Remember that the very first step in simplifying expressions is going to be rewriting the expression using only sums or addition. And we use our keep, flip, change, KFC, to remind ourselves on how to do that. The step that we were missing, step 2, involves the distributive property. If needed, you are going to apply the distributive property. Third, you're going to identify the like terms and combine them. Then you need to arrange the expression in this order. First, variables with exponents. Next, any variable terms. And last, your constant. The very last step only happens if you have parentheses left indicating a negative number. Then you'll want to use that KFC method again to get rid of those parentheses. We're going to take a look at 3 examples to show simplifying expressions, including this distributive property step. Our first problem is m plus 3, parentheses, w minus 4m. So my first step is to rewrite using the KFC. I have a subtraction here and I don't want that, so I'm going to add the opposite. But remember that the rule is to rewrite it. So we're going to rewrite it with m plus 3, parentheses, w, and a negative 4m. The next step, step 2, you haven't used yet, and that's apply the distributive property. Notice we have these parentheses with 2 different terms inside. I want 3 w's plus I want 3 negative 4m's. So remember the chip and dips. I'm going to distribute the 3 inside because I want 3 of these and I want 3 of these. So that's going to look like 3 times w, or 3w, and 3 times a negative 4m. 3 times a negative 4m would be negative 12m. Then I'm bringing down my m, and so now my expression reads m and 3w and a negative 12m. So what I want to do is I want to combine the like terms. Well, I have a variable m here and I have a variable m here. If I have an m and negative 12m's, I am going to actually find the difference because I have different signs. So that's going to give me negative 11m's. And I have 3 w's here. There's nothing to combine with those, so I'm going to bring that down. That's going to be my final answer because I cannot combine different variables. I can't add m's to w's. So my final expression simplified is going to be a negative 11m plus 3w. Notice I didn't need to use step 5 because all of my parentheses are gone. Let's take a look at the next problem. In the next problem, I have negative 1/2, parentheses, 6n plus 4 plus 2n. So the first thing I'm going to do is check. I have no subtraction, so I don't have to rewrite. But I do have these parentheses, And so I'm going to distribute. I want 1/2 of these, a negative 1/2 of these, and I want a negative 1/2 of 4. So that means negative 1/2 times 6n, or 6/1. That's going to be 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. So that's going to equal 3n. Then I distribute 1/2. Oh, and this is negative, because it's a negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 times 4. So negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Simplified, negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. So, and a negative 2. I've now distributed this section of my expression, but I have this and 2n left, so I'm going to bring that down. And 2n. Now I'm going to use my different colors to combine my like terms. I have n's here and n's here, so a negative 3n and 2n's is going to give me a negative n. Because 3, take away 2, is going to just leave me with 1n. And since 3 is further away from 0, it's going to be negative. And I have a negative 2. Remember that last step, because I have parentheses around my negative, I'm going to KFC, keep, flip, change, to get rid of that. So my final answer is going to be a negative n minus 2. Our one last example, make sure you have all the steps shown, is 3p minus 5, parentheses, p plus 6. So, here I'm seeing subtraction. I am going to KFC. I'm going to add the opposite. Then, my directions say to rewrite the expression. So I have 3p and a negative 5, parentheses, p plus 6. Now I'm going to use step 2, and I'm going to distribute this negative 5 into the parentheses, chip and dips. So, I go here, because I want negative 5p, so negative 5 times p would be a negative 5p, and negative 5 times 6 is a negative 30. I have now dealt with this part of the equation. I have this left, so I'm going to bring that down. So I have 3p and negative 5p and a negative 30. My very last step, possibly, is going to be to combine the like terms. So there's my variables that match. 3 and a negative 5 is going to give me a negative 2p. All I'm left then is with my constant and negative 30. And then remember, the very last step is I want to get rid of those parentheses. So a negative 2p plus negative 30 is the same as a negative 2p minus 30. Keep, flip, change. So negative 2p minus 30. I have no like terms. I have no parentheses. So my expression is simplified. Make sure all the steps are showing on your notes page, and we will apply these in class.